Okay, I want to tell you about my business and how and why I'm playing both sides of the fence and why maybe you should too. Hi, my name's Courtney, and I am the chief troublemaker and founder of Chief Troublemaker Company. And I spent a lot of years in corporate America and realized it was very broken, especially for neurodivergent baddies like me. And so a lot of the work that I did was within like HR, people development, recruitment spaces, because I really wanted to make things better, right? I actually believed the PR campaign that was running and before I realized it was just a PR campaign. So what I do now, I no longer work for VC backed Silicon Valley companies because bleh, I do work in leadership development. And so my day job is actually like supporting the mid-market companies that actually want to do better, that want to fix their dysfunctional leadership, that want to actually empower their managers, that want to change their leadership structures and actually build scaffolding to get everybody aligned and create a standard of what good looks like. There are businesses out there that are trying, right? And those are the ones that I'm supporting in my day job and in the work that I'm doing of like actually figuring out how to identify where those things are broken and then what are the paths to actually solving a lot of those things. But there's a whole swath of companies that have no desire to do any of that. Like not a lick. And those are the companies that you see in the headlines making these terrible decisions about how they're handling their layoffs, how they're handling their people. Like they just don't care and they're being very, very obvious about it. And there's like a whole bucket of companies that fit into that category. And so the other side of the fence that I'm playing outside of my day job is I do consulting on the other side for the women at the companies who don't give a shit, who are like, they're like, I'm out. I have the skills. I have the experience. I know what I'm doing. I'm not putting up with this shit anymore. And you guys are running a racket over here. So I'm going to go build my own thing. I'm going to go do whatever I want to do. Right. And figure out what that looks like in a way that's aligned for me, that's actually aligned with my values and the way I work, especially if I'm neurodivergent and have a different work style and workflow. Right. And so that's what I do is then I help them kind of decondition and deprogram and ungaslight and get that corporate hangover off, right? And then rebuild a personal operating system that actually is built around how they work best so that they can then build their brand, their offer, their consult, whatever they're doing on top of that in a way that's actually aligned and helps them like stay true to the things they actually care about. Because Chief Troublemaker Company started as like a personal branding business for women because I've spent my entire corporate career in sales and marketing. And I wanted to teach women that they could sell themselves in a way that didn't feel gross and dirty, and they could do it in a way that was much more authentic. And so that's how Chief Troublemaker started, was like a personal branding and visibility business for women. But what I found as I was doing that work with these women is that we were building on top of somebody else's framework, right? And when I was digging deeper about like, is that really how you want to do things? Like, is that actually how you're aligned? What feels best for you? It wasn't. They were carrying forward stuff that they had been ingrained with or conditioned with from corporate, from other stuff. And so I realized like there's actually a step further up that a lot of women were missing. And it's developing their own personal operating system, right? Like ungaslighting some of that old shit, figuring out how they work best and actually codifying that into a working system that's your personal operating system that then becomes your benchmark or your guide for what contracts you'll say yes to, what partnerships you'll say yes to, like where you're willing to walk away from things, how you work best, like understanding your different buckets of energy so that you can actually plan things around that. And then all of a sudden, your brand, your offer, your whatever you're trying to do makes a lot more sense because it's actually built on top of how you work best, right? Like that personal brand is supposed to be the megaphone. But if it's not actually like amplifying stuff that feels really good and aligned, who cares? So that's a little bit of the origin story of Chief Troublemaker. So if that's interesting to you, if you are at all in any of those buckets that I talked about, then come along for the ride. And I'm really glad that you're here.